Good evening and thank you for watching Times News. I am Elita Soko. First, the headlines. The Famine Early Warning Systems Network projects good harvests for Malawi this year. Strict adherence to COVID-19 preventive measures encouraged in pediatric wards as a way of protecting children. And the body of legendary musician Mteweti Wambali Mkandawire laid to rest. We have these and other stories. Please do stay with us. And our first news item, 1,128 health workers are expected to be employed into the public service as government steps up the fight against COVID-19. The issue of inadequate health personnel has frequently come up as one of the factors hindering effective healthcare service provision in public hospitals. Addressing the nation on Sunday, President Chakwera said the health workers have been identified and they will be receiving appointment letters within 48 hours of his address. Now, owing to average rainfall across the country, Malawians should expect good harvest this year. A January report by the Famine Early Warning Systems Network, or FUSENET, projects. The projection is also attributed to increased access to inputs from the Affordable Inputs Program, AIP, which targeted over 3.6 million farming families. Feston Malekezo has a report.
The rainfall and increased access to inputs from the Affordable Inputs Program have facilitated a good crop stand, the report notes. At national level, average to slightly above average production is expected in the country. However, the report points out Nsanje and Chikwawa districts as likely to post below average production due to delayed start of season and poorly distributed rainfall. The development comes at a time when 2020-2021 rain-fed agriculture season faces reduced harvest as armyworms have attacked over 300,000 hectares of food crops. But Ministry of Agriculture spokesperson Grecian Lungu downplays fears that the armyworms may reduce this year's maize output, saying the hectareage that has been attacked is insignificant. Although the estimates for the first round have not been officially released, the ministry says there are indications that maize production could increase this year. Concurring with the report, Farmers Union of Malawi President Frighton Njolomole says they too anticipate bumper use as rains have been favorable this year.
This year we might actually have a bumper yield. That is exactly true. And, that actually goes to the government because of the program they actually gave to the farmers, AIP. That has actually stimulated most of our farmers. Many farmers that don't normally have enough money to buy fertilizer.
Malawi's annual maize requirement is estimated at around 3.1 million tons.
Now, authorities at Mzuzu Central Hospital have highlighted the need for guardians of patients in pediatric wards to strictly adhere to COVID-19 preventive measures as a way of protecting children. One of the hospital's senior nursing officers, Mona Lisa Tembo, said many guardians are failing to fully observe the precautionary measures due to failure to purchase personal protective equipment, or PPEs. Patience Lunda has the details in this report.
Tembo made the revelation when some well-wishers, a family in Mzuzu, donated various PPEs and other items to the pediatric ward at Mzuzu Central Hospital. According to Tembo, failure of guardians to have PPEs puts children and health officials at an immediate risk of contracting the virus. She then asked well-wishers to come in and assist guardians who are struggling to purchase PPEs.
Gaps in the provision of care.
But speaking after making the donation, Shandwira Kondwe said the gesture was a way of responding to needs that have emerged as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Gondwe said children need to be protected from the virus, and one way is to target guardians that take care of them.
Our mission basically coming here is just partially respond to the needs in terms of beefing up response towards the pandemic that has befallen us, which is coronavirus. in a very small way. We thought, despite not having the very much enough resources, but in a very small way, we thought whatever we have, we can contribute, bring it here, and surely it could make a difference.
Some of the donated items include masks, hand sanitizers, sugar, soap, and toilet paper.
The body of legendary musician Mteweti Wambali Mkandawire has been laid to rest. Mkandawire died on Sunday morning at Kamuzu Central Hospital in Lilongwe after battling COVID-19. Tributes have been pouring in for the music icon, as Sam Banda Jr. now reports.
Mwana usalire usachite mantha Yesu alipo usaope mdima upeza ambuye asamalira. Tamenyetsa manja kumtengo, dzinja lopereka kuwawa, tsozi lodontha mopanda chisusu chochita zotheka.
A dark crowd has befallen the world, painless loss, devastated, shocked, speechless, cultural tragedy, and heartbroken is what artists and various players in the creative industry said following the death of music heavyweight and icon Wambali Mkandawire. Wambali died of COVID-19 on Sunday morning at Kamuzu Central Hospital in Lilongwe. The legendary musician was an icon for Malawi, just like Mbira star Oliver Mtukudzi was to Zimbabwe. Wambali's death comes barely a week after the country also lost renowned DJ Ken Eclipse Wako. The country has recently also lost legends such as broadcaster and musician Maria Chizanjankhoma and actor and playwright Frank Patani Mwase. Former Musicians Union of Malawi MAM President Bishop Reverend Chimwemwe Muhango said he was shocked with Wambali's death. He said Wambali was the pride of the nation.
Well, it is a very sad day indeed. I have known Wambali for years. Actually, before he gave his life to Christ, he was a star playing with Sounds Pentagon, which was a huge band in Blantyre. And after giving his life to Christ, he was preaching in the streets, walking from Blantyre to Limbi, playing his music, reaching out for Christ, until when he went to South Africa and started recording professional music, on producing albums after albums, as one of the best ethnomusicologists in the country, the best artist in Afrocentric jazz music, someone who was a preacher, someone who was a pastor, someone who was a politician, someone who valued our cultural values, someone who upheld what Malawian culture ought to be, and someone who wanted to mentor the young people to be special in the country. And to lose him just like this, it's a big, big loss, not only to the nation of Malawi, but in Africa and even beyond.
Minister of Information, Gospel Kazako, has penned a tribute poem to Wambali Mkandawire.
Yendani bwino Wambali, yendani bwino Mteweti, pitani bwino Mteweti.
We have lost. Personally, I've lost a very elderly brother to me. I've lost a friend and someone who could advise you without putting any regard as to who you are or what you have achieved. He was a very, very straightforward person in a very loving and caring manner.
Zirani Gondwe, who was at one time Wambali's manager, said the music maestro will be remembered as the greatest legacy musician for the timeless worth of music he has bequeathed not only for Malawi, but the world. In 2002, he raised the country's profile on the world stage when he was decorated with the World Intellectual Property Organization WIPO Award for Creativity. He was nominated for the Kora Award in Best Artist for Southern Africa category for his work Zanimuone, and in 2003, he won the South Africa Music Awards Summer for Best African Artist. Born Green Mkandawire, who hailed from Mlowe Village Traditional Authority Mwamlowe in Rumbi, he was born on July 10, 1952. He is survived by wife Wambui and a daughter Tawonga. May his soul rest
at Akabwinja Primary School in Doangala constituency when her organization planted 6,000 trees. We have more in this report.
According to Kawale, trees are very crucial as they help take away carbon dioxide and bring in oxygen. Kawale further said in the past Malawi used to be known as a green country, saying time has come for Malawi to reclaim that lost glory.
Just looking at the intensity of how trees are being degraded in this nation, and also the appeal that the president of this nation made to the entire nation that each and every person and all organizations should take responsibility of planting trees. So we saw it as an opportunity, but also a responsibility for us to be involved, and we know that it's a good cause to help with the environment.
Central Zone Forestry Manager Alik Mibawa compared trees to the lungs of a country.
I emphasized that if the country becomes bare at once, there won't be any living thing, be it people, be it animals, every living thing gonna die because we will lack air to breathe in, which is also a necessity. So that's why I said it's imperative and also highly important that we have to continue. We have to continue planting trees as we have done today.
During the exercise, Traditional Authority Jakaza of the area said the importance of trees cannot be overemphasized, especially in the era of COVID-19. According to Jakaza, leaves of trees such as blue gum, papaya as well as guavas have become an essential commodity in as far as steaming for COVID-19 is concerned.
Restrictions put in place on some operations to prevent the spread of COVID-19 are making it difficult for many young people to access ART services. This is according to the National Association for Young People Living with HIV. National Coordinator for the association, Violet Lindiwe Banda, said this during the launch of a Her Voice project at Mungona in Lilongwe. Emmanuel Simpoholwe has filed this report read by Fali Banda.
According to Banda, gains made in the fight against HIV and AIDS cannot be sustained if the number of defaulters increases. Banda said efforts among stakeholders have shifted to COVID-19, hence their launch of the project to keep on track elimination of HIV and AIDS by 2030.
So we have seen that COVID has actually brought up a biggest challenge among us young people living with HIV, because most of young people living with HIV this COVID time, they are defaulting from their ART, and some of them, they are not even meeting the way we used to meet at teen club and some youth clubs, whereby we could encourage each other on issues of adherence. Remember, we cannot fight HIV without taking ARTs properly. So to us, we have seen that since most of the concentration of the government officials, our healthy personnel, they are more concentrating on COVID-19 than HIV.
One of the participants, Foster Mafiara, who is also a youth activist for sexual and reproductive health rights, said the project is timely.
The meeting is very important to us as young people, because it will give us the energy and the power actually to own the project, because it's youth-led. It's led by young people themselves. So with the issues that we're facing on the ground, I think we're in a better position that we can tackle these challenges that we're meeting on a daily basis as young people. So we're coming in of this project, and I think it will empower us, it will give us confidence, and we actually address the real issues that we're facing on the ground as young people.
Her Voice is a global funded project through a global network of young people living with HIV in the country.
Local non-governmental organization Global Hope Mobilization has donated medical supplies to support Kamoso Central Hospital fight COVID-19. The organization has also provided the hospital with a theater room to help patients that need specialized support. The support is worth 75 million kwacha. The organization's executive director, Caleb Tole, said their wish is to save more lives from the pandemic. Audrey Gabalamola reports.
The organization has donated medical equipment, hand-washing facilities, personal protective equipment, and the theater room. Tole said the response is part of the COVID-19 emergency response project in partnership with Media in Education Trust Africa to enhance preparedness, responses and prevention of COVID-19 pandemic in 4 Future Life member states.
Recently, the President called for support from different partners to come in, and we believe that even though COVID will be over, but the facility will still help Malawian women in responding to issues to do with maternal health.
Receiving the donation, head of obstetrics and gynecology, Priscilla Pirimwanza, held the organization for the support.
And we're not supposed to be mixing these two groups, infectious and non-infectious people. Having a special theater for COVID will go a long way to prevent infections in non-infected people.
The donation has been made with the support from Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation and the Media and Education Trust Africa.
This is Times News. We'll be back with more shortly.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night. If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Mwana wanga
bwanja mai
iwe nkazi wako waikisa implant.
Ndikudziwa pali vuto
ndipo kafuna kukhala ndi mwana
umangopita nkukachotsetsa.
Koma ine ndamva kuti tu
kwakadaula za umoyo kokha ndikomwe mungamve zoona zenizeni.
ngati akadaula omwe anaphunzitsidwa bwino akuchipatalako.
ndi mukutanthauza kuti implant ilibiretu kuopsa kulikonse?
Inde palibe chiopsezo chinechi chonse ndipo ndiyovomerezeka ndi boma.
mukutanthauza kuti amayi musadandaule inu mudzakhala agogo tsiku lina koma osati pano.
Koma mwanawe iwe umadziwa kukondweretsa mtima wa mayi yawo.
Musalole kuti nkhamba kamwa ndi mabodza zikusokonezereni tsogolo lanu. Pitani kuchipatala kuti mungapeze uphungu wona wakulera.
Welcome back to the news on Times TV. In a bid to contain the spread of COVID-19, the Department of Immigration and Citizenship Services has closed its offices in the central region and suspended services for 3 days to allow disinfection of the offices. Immigration Central Region spokesperson Ilak Banda has told Times that there will be no services at its Lilongwe offices from Monday to Wednesday. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
Banda says the department acknowledges that services will be interrupted, but the disinfection exercise is also of paramount importance. He says during the 3 days, the offices will be disinfected and all the officers will be tested for COVID-19. Banda also says the exercise will create a safer environment for the officers and clients, further stressing that only those who test negative will report for work on Thursday this week.
So you can see that where we are now in the whole world, as well as Malawi, COVID-19 is top of the day and it is claiming a lot of lives. So we believe this is an activity that will create a safer environment for all officers as well as clients. At the same time, it is serving as controlling the spread of COVID-19, whereby all those that will be found positive, they'll be told to go home. And only officers who will be negative are the ones that will resume work on Thursday, 4th February 2021. So yes, it is true that the services will be affected, and we apologize for the inconvenience to the general public and our clients. However, this is an issue of paramount importance.
Last week, the Malawi Electoral Commission also announced the closure of its offices for 10 days after 23 of its officers tested positive for COVID-19.
Christians of African International Church of Mzuzu have constructed a house for their resident pastor Michael Simbeye, who is pending retirement. Speaking at the official handover ceremony at Mzilawaingwe Township, Treasurer General Bishop Stanley Mkamanga said construction of the house is a show of love for their pastor. Sam Kalimira reports.
Bishop Mkamanga said the spirit of giving is a clear manifestation of the love of God. Bishop Mkamanga said the Christians' gesture to construct the house of their pastor.
Our Lord Jesus Christ did a lot for us. Therefore, we should also do something to help one another. In this way, we are spreading the word of our Lord Jesus Christ.
The chairperson of the Social Affairs Committee of the church, Pastor Black Marcel, said the 2.5 million kwacha project, which took 8 years to reach its completion, was meant to show appreciation for the pastor's good work.
As a church, we see that our KP, who is presiding pastor, standing above our whole city, has got a very small house. And after seeing that, then people go through and said, let us build a good house for our PP, for the work he's doing. He's doing a very good work, and in this area, so many people are turned to Jesus just because of him.
Pastor Simbeye, 82, who has been serving the church for close to 30 years, thanked the church for the gift of the house and other assorted items presented to him. African International Church was established by Pastor Nkake Kandavire in 1922, and its first mission station was at Chitimba in Rompi district. The church, formerly known as National Church, was changed its name in 1975 by first head of state, late Hastings Kamusbanda, to be African International Church.
And that's the news tonight, but before we go, the headlines again. The Famine Early Warning Systems Network projects good harvests for Malawi this year. Strict adherence to COVID-19 preventive measures encouraged in pediatric wards as a way of protecting children. And the body of legendary musician Deweti Wambali Mkandawire has been laid to rest. You've been with me, Elita Sokon. You can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, on our Facebook page Times 360 Malawi, and on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, and mask up. Please stay safe. Good night.
UNICAF University